त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Yes. How are you?
Yeah, so hello, Rita. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very good. And yourself?
Very good. Very excited about tomorrow's topic. Or today's topic, because tomorrow is Sahasrara.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so wherever you are, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning. And we're very delighted to present to you today, or this evening, the topic of the 1,000 petal lotus. It's the Sahasrara chakra, which is the reason why we celebrate it tomorrow, which is the 5th of May, because Shri Mataji has opened this chakra on the 5th of May 1970 in Nagar, isn't it, Rita?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So that fontanelle bone area where they've got 1,000 nerves coming from around there, and hence the 1,000 petal lotus that we call it as a chakra. Absolutely. And a wonderful, now let us welcome Randhir, who is doing today's program on this chakra, and he's got a beautiful video.
Yes, hello, Randhir.
Hello.
Good evening.
Lined about it. Absolutely. Now you're here for the first time, Randhir.
Yes, I am.
And so please tell us about yourself. How did you come to Sahaj, or how's your journey been?
Well, I came to Sahaj when I was in London. I was a student there, and in 1999 I came across, I was searching and I was looking up on the internet about gurus, and lo and behold, there was an advert which I came across on Shri Mataji, and I was thinking, well, this looks right. She's talking about the Sahasrara, and she talks about self-realization, so let me give it a go. And I went there, and I was there at the Royal Albert Hall, and I still remember it was 10th of July 1999. And that was the day that I got my realization. And here I am since then.
Fantastic. What a great thing. And I suppose that is one of the miracles that we have, at least I feel thankful about, is the fact that, as you say, when you've gone looking for that and you've got that seeking, that you kind of find it in that direct way rather than a twisted path, I suppose, to get to it. Because I think just about last month, the same thing I was thinking about, my own seeking journey. And I know when an uncle we knew who kind of got transferred from Delhi to, when we were living in Hyderabad at that time. And same as you, that desire of seeking. So you start looking and you're keen. So, there's different gurus advertise and stuff, and they talk about and things like that. And then uncle came and he was talking about, self-realization and feeling, your spirit and the Kundalini. And it was like, oh my God, this is exactly, I was only 13, but it just seemed absolutely right. And there we went, so, and now I kind of feel so grateful, actually, the fact that, yes, when we started the seeking journey, that Mother, it kind of things fell into place so that you kind of got that straight away.
It's a case of not knowing what you don't know. When at the early stage, like you said, lots of competing gurus out there. And I'm grateful that I came across the advert for Sahaj at that time when I was looking for it. Because I can't bear to think of what would have happened otherwise.
Yes, absolutely. The same thought.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the proof of it is that, I've stayed on since then.
And then you went to Singapore, didn't you?
Yes. Then after my job in, first I studied in the UK, and then I was working there, and then I went back home to Singapore. I was there for a number of years, and then I got married and came to Australia.
Ah, okay. So whereabouts in Australia are you?
In Perth.
Ah, right. You are in Perth.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a silly question to answer.
Not far from Ariane.
Right. Okay. Well, that is amazing. Yes. And Marianne, last week's program was wonderful, wasn't it, on Wednesday?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Was it Wednesday or Friday? Which program are you talking about?
The Wednesday one. You were going to just recap, I think, what we had done last Wednesday, were you? Or
it was last Friday, because we've just
Friday,
gone into,
yes.
We had the truth and projections,
Beautiful.
with Troy, and it was very, very good. Yeah, because we really, now we're going to the one, once we clear those projections, we can actually experience the peace at Sahasrara, isn't it, Randy? And the silence, that we are really in the spiritual realm, and getting the divine kind of a self more. Is that right, Wendy?
Yeah, and hence the new series that we have is the Going Deeper one, which on Monday, part of that is, I think they've got a few different sessions happening, so people can access from the various 21 groups. So on Monday, we had a beautiful meditation that Lynn and Gulshan did from Canberra. So that was on at 6 o'clock. We've got the Wednesday one that we offer now at 9 o'clock. And then we've got a Thursday one that is at 7, I think, if I'm right. So it's wonderful. And the theme is the same. So this week's theme is Sahasrara, giving, the different meditation experience, different timings, so everyone can attend, which is beautiful. And as you said, once you have given up, I suppose, on Friday, as they were taking the conditionings, we're looking at going deeper. And I remember someone explaining once, we always talk about the Kundalini and the root, and it's like a tree. So you're always, when we talk about getting our realization, it's like a little seed where a pimule, you put it in the earth, and then, you know, the roots grow, the seed matures. So we kind of become the reflection of the divine. But then as we grow and mature, it literally flips, because the attention from the Sahasrara is now to the divine. So all the roots, it's basically the roots are then being nourished. So now the seat of all the energy centers which are around the Sahasrara and in our brain are starting to then actually get the nourishment and then nourish the rest of the body. So it's a very, amazing outlook. So looking forward to that, Randeep. So I'm going to leave the floor to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the Sahasrara, basically, like you just pointed out, the 1,000-petal lotus, all the seats of our energy centers are here. And once we open Sahasrara, all those energy centers get nourished. The Sahasrara is you could say, a combination of the chakras below. So the Kundalini will be stored in the sacrum bone, and it goes through the chakras one by one. Firstly, the Muladhara chakra, and then the Swadhisthana at the hip level. Then you got the Nabi chakra at the stomach level, the heart chakra, the Vishuddhi chakra at the throat, the Agya chakra up here, and then finally the Sahasrara chakra, which is at the fontanelle bone area. The thing about Sahasrara is that it needs to be opened in order for a person to have to be said to be self-realized, to get their enlightenment, so to speak. So the Kundalini will rise through all the chakras, pierce the Sahasrara chakra, and that is the process of realization, where one is said to be enlightened or self-realized. You realizing yourself, so self-realization. And the important thing is that this is something that has been sought after throughout history. There have always been seekers, and people have always wanted to attain self-realization. One of the things about the Kundalini is that it is the remembrance, it is that seat of innocence within us, where it is stored, and it is stored in the sacrum bone, and it has to go through the first chakra, which is the seat of innocence within us. Within that seat of innocence is also that remembrance of God within all of us, that we know that there's something larger. That is what impels people to seek. The Kundalini is trying to rise. It is part of our evolution, and it's one of the reasons you could say that we've incarnated, so that we can evolve, all of us. And throughout history, as we go through this evolution, we have always been seeking. All of humanity has always been seeking in one way or another. Different gurus have come at different times. They've worked out at different chakras, and they've cleared those chakras. For example, when Sri Jesus Christ came, he worked out the Agya chakra, and they laid the foundation stones for the evolution of all of humanity. They may have been born in a certain location. Their teachings may have been known perhaps to just a few people in that area at that time, but these were great personalities or deities who worked out different aspects of the human subtle system, and all of them laid the foundation by which we can today open the Sahasrara and attain our self-realization. Shri Mataji, as you had pointed out, opened the Sahasrara chakra on May 5th, 1970 at Nargol. And what had happened is that since that time, Sahaja Yoga has been formed, by which you could say ordinary people like us are able to attain self-realization without giving up anything. In ages past, people would have had to give up their families, give up their homes, give up their jobs, go into a forest or a cave somewhere in the Himalayas or elsewhere, and go through a guru who is usually quite a strict person, and they may or may not get their self-realization. But however, in Sahaja Yoga, and this is the distinguishing factor of Sahaja Yoga compared to all the other religions, is that self-realization is given to you at the very beginning. It is something truly great, and it's important to understand the gravity of how much Shri Mataji has done for us in this. She has given us self-realization at the very start, at the very beginning. This is the mother's love. If you come to the mother asking, the mother provides. And this is what she's done for us. So sometimes it's worth to pause and reflect on the love that Shri Mataji has shown us by giving us self-realization or enlightenment at the very start of the process, rather than promise it at the end of a very long process that may take years or lifetimes, as happens in other religions. So what we can do is that we can now just do a very brief meditation. We will clear the 3 channels, and then we will put our attention at the Sahasrara chakra, which is on the fontanelle bone area. And then we will listen to a talk by Shri Mataji. And after that, Shri Mataji will go through the process of opening up the Sahasrara. So what we can do right now is if everyone could just raise Kundalini and put on a bandhan. So shall we all do that? So if we just bring our attention within ourselves, just be in the present moment. Avoid thoughts of what happened earlier in the day or what you wish to do afterwards. So just be in the present moment. Now we can clear the left channel. Just place your right hand on the ground and your left hand on the lap. And we can say the mantra Shri Mahakali Sakshat, Shri Bhairava Sakshat. Om Tvameva Sakshat, Shri Mahakali Sakshat, Shri Bhairava Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Now what we can do is we can clear the right channel. So place your right hand on the lap and your left hand pointing upwards like a chimney. And we can take the mantras for the right channel. Shri Maha Saraswati Sakshat, Shri Gabriel Sakshat, Shri Hanumana Sakshat. Om Tvameva Sakshat, Shri Maha Saraswati Sakshat, Shri Gabriel Sakshat, Shri Hanumana Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And then now we place both hands back on the lap. And now we place our attention in the center channel. We can take the mantra Shri Mahalakshmi Sakshat, Shri Mahavishnu Sakshat. Om Tvameva Sakshat, Shri Mahalakshmi Sakshat, Shri Mahavishnu Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And we can silently take an affirmation. Shri Mataji, you are the power of all evolution within us. Please guide us that we may evolve to become better instruments of the divine. Now we can keep our attention in the Sahasrara, the fontanelle bone area, for just about, say, 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, we can slowly open our eyes at this stage and just continue on with keeping our attention at Sahasrara, at the fontanelle bone area. And at this stage, we can listen to a talk by Shri Mataji. And after the talk, we will straight away listen to a guided meditation by Shri Mataji about the Sahasrara and opening the Sahasrara.
So today is a day when you have to promise me that you will meditate every night, every evening, maybe in the morning also. Whenever it is possible, if you can go into meditative mood, you are in contact with this divine power. Then whatever is good for you, whatever good for your society, for your country, all is done by this divine power. You don't have to overpower the divine power. You don't have to order, you don't have to ask. Just if you meditate, you are one with this all-pervading power, which is another great blessings to us. Unless and until your Sahasrara is open, all the blessings of the divine power cannot come to you. Cannot. Maybe you might get some money, you might get some jobs, you might get this and that. But your own development is only possible when you meditate and your Sahasrara is completely open and open to truth. Now the truth is that this divine power is compassion, is love. This is the truth. They say God is love, God is truth. So the equation has to be made that truth is love and love is truth. But it's not a truth that as you have for your own children, you have for your family. Attached love is not truth. If you are attached to somebody, then you never see the bad points of that person. If you are angry with somebody, then you can never see the good points of that person. But it's a complete detached love. And that love is extremely powerful. Because whenever you project that love to anyone, you will be surprised. The problems of that person will be solved, his personality will improve, everything will work out in a very big way, and his life will be changed. But if you are attached to anything whatsoever, that attachment itself causes problems and doesn't allow Sahaj to grow. This attachment could be any kind. For example, you can be attached to your country, attached to your society, attached to your family. It can be of any kind. But when Sahasrara is open, you learn one thing is detachment. It just happens that you get detached. Though, you are not running away. As it is in Sahaja Yoga, we don't believe in people who run away from society and go to Himalayas, or that I call it as escapism. That is not the point. What happens is that you are there. You see everyone, you watch everyone, you know everyone, you are close to everyone, but you are a detached person. It's a state of mind that you achieve when Sahasrara is open. Then that state you are dealing with people, you are dealing with problems, you are dealing with situations, but you are not involved in it. There's no involvement. And that involvement which you had before can never give a complete insight what is happening, what is the truth is about any situation. So this detachment helps. The greatest thing of the detachment is that you are not affected. No use saying that, oh, you are not affected, mother, so how can you feel for another person? How can you have compassion for another person? Because if you feel for another person, then only you can solve the problem. But this feeling that you have is again a kind of an attachment. It is not a real feeling, because it doesn't help. The person is crying, you are also crying. The person is trouble, you are also in trouble. And this does not help that person, nor will it help you. So to have detached in no way means you do not feel the another person. You do feel. You feel the agony of that person, the trouble of that person, of the whole society sometimes, and of the whole country. But that your feeling is so detached that the all-pervading power takes over. First we must have full faith in the capability of this all-pervading power. As soon as you are detached, you say, you do it. Finished. Once you say that you are going to do it, it's you who is going to do it, whole thing changes completely, because you transfer all your responsibilities, all your problems to this divine power, which is so powerful, which is so capable, which can work out anything. So whenever you think that this problem you are going to solve, you are the one who is going to do it, then all right, the divine power says, all right, try your luck. But if you can really put this problem to the divine power, it will work out. We have all kinds of problems in Sahaja Yoga, especially when we find that people are not so much attracted to Sahaja Yoga. They are few in number, then you feel very bad about it. But have you tried to meditate on this point, and have you tried to put this problem to the divine power? Why should we worry when we have divine power available through our Sahasrara? Why should we worry? Why should we think about it? Just leave it to the divine power. If that is possible, if that you can achieve, you see, which is very difficult for human beings, because they live with their ego, they live their conditionings. But if that attachment to all these things goes away, then what you do is just leave things to this power. Krishna has said in his Gita, Sarva dharmanam parityajya mamekam sharanam vaja. Forget about all your dharmas. Dharmas means meaning that we have a dharma of a wife, of a husband, of a member of the society. All of them have their own dharma. But he says, leave them and leave it them to me, and I'll manage. This is it we have to learn, is to say that it's this divine power which will solve our problems. As human beings, it's a very difficult state. And this state only can be achieved through meditation. But I'm not saying that you go on meditating for hours together, not necessary. But with full faith in yourself and in the divine power. If you work it out, I'm sure it's not difficult to rise to that state of consciousness. That is what we have to achieve. It's possible for men as well as for women. They don't have to think, how can we, mother, do it after all? See, all such people are no good for Sahaja Yoga. Those who have diffidence about themselves cannot do anything. But those who are surrendered and those who think they can do it can manage all this transfer of their power to the divine power. Just put it on the divine power. Now supposing I have a car which can drive me down. So if I have a car, then I don't put bullocks on it, that I don't push my car. I just sit inside and use it. In the same way, if you have this great power around you, If your Sahasrara is absolutely, completely submerged in it, then you will be amazed how things work out for yourself. I will give you an example of Sahaja Yogi. He is no more now. He was a fisherman, ordinary fisherman, but also he was educated, so he was working in a bank. This one was going one day to do some Sahaja Yoga work, and he had to go by boat. So when he came out, he saw the whole place was clouded and it was about to burst out into a big havoc. So he got very much perturbed about it, that what is this? Immediately his Sahasrara was so open and good. Immediately he said, now I leave it to this divine power to stop all these things happening. I don't want it to rain and to have any problem till I come back home and go off to sleep. And it was surprising. People told me that, Mother, the clouds and everything were there all throughout, but it did not rain, did not do anything, and there was no chaos of any kind. He went to another island where he had to go, he did Sahaja Yoga and came back. And then when he went to sleep, then only everything started pouring down. So nature, everything, every leaf, every flower, everything is worked out through the divine power. So we should not have our ego that we can do something ourselves, we can manage ourselves. Once you have that kind of a thing, you are not yet that much developed, you are not that much grown up in Sahaja Yoga. But to grow up in Sahaja Yoga should not be difficult for you, because you have guidelines. Those people who got their realization, very few of them, like Sufis, and we had some saints in India, all of them. How much they must have struggled. Nobody to guide them, nobody to help them, nobody to tell them about what they can achieve. And despite that, they were very satisfied people, very happy people, and they worked it out so well. They saw the whole world with another angle, as you can also see. But they were not upset, and they had such self-confidence. They had such knowledge of their own that they achieved through their meditative process. And the way they have written books, some of them are so great. It's very surprisingly how they have achieved these great verses, such full of knowledge. One cannot understand that they had no guidance, nobody was to tell them. But one thing with them was that they always tried to look after their Sahasrara. Now one thing is there obstructing Sahasrara is the movement of your agya into thoughts. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that stops your entry into Sahaja. Thoughts are coming all the time. Because a human being is born who reacts to everything. React to this and react to that, and the thoughts come in and thoughts go. There's a big crowd of thoughts. Because of that, your attention cannot cross over agya and can reside in the Sahasrara. So first of all, one should see what sort of thoughts are coming. You have to condemn yourself sometimes. You have to say, what nonsense, what have I been doing? What's the matter with me? How could I do all that? Once you start doing that, these thoughts will start disappearing. These thoughts are coming from two angles, one from the ego and another from your conditionings. And these are so much built up within you that they don't allow your agya to be crossed. That's why we have two bija mantras of Ham Ksham. First one is, when it is conditioning, you are endowed with this kind of a fear. I shouldn't do like this, I shouldn't do like that, is not allowed, that is not allowed. That's the conditioning part of it. Conditioning can be of many types. But the ego part of it is that I must overpower everybody, I must get this, I must be able to rule everyone. These two things are there in the mind, which are all the time crossing. So it's important that we should go into thoughtless awareness. And that thoughtless awareness is the real way that your Sahasrara can be nourished by the Kundalini. Because Kundalini cannot go through, cannot pass through. And for that, as I said, there are two Bija mantras. One is Ham, another Ksham. So if you are conditioned, you are frightened, you are afraid, and you had ideas about yourself. These days, the way people are describing, they'll say, I'm an extrovert. Somebody will say, I'm an introvert. Somebody will say, I'm hippie, I'm that. All kinds of things they can have attributed to themselves. But these ideas are all coming from outside. They are not from inside. To get to the inner side of yourself, to the subtler side of your being, you must allow the Kundalini to go through the Agya. To cross the Agya is a very important thing in modern times. And for that you have to meditate. If you can meditate with complete faith in yourself, this Agya can be opened up with surrendering to the Divine. You have to surrender yourself to the Divine. And when this Agya opens, you'll be amazed. Your Sahasrara is just waiting to transfer, to give you all the help that you need through the all-pervading power. Your connection of Sahasrara with the all-pervading power is established. And by that you will be amazed how all these 7 chakras work for you. How they help you. How they try to give you whatever is the real knowledge about everything. This real knowledge that you get is very joy-giving. You can see this real knowledge in everything. You don't have to start reading any book about it. In every situation and in every person, in every flower, in every natural happening, you see clearly the hand of the Divine. Once you see the hand of the Divine, your ego starts. Please close your eyes. As it is, Kundalini has risen quite high. Please close your eyes. As it is, Kundalini has risen quite high. I feel it. But it has to cross through the last point, which is the 7th center, called as Sahasrara, to pierce through the whole of, is called as the Brahma, is the Brahmarandra, where you get your baptism, the real baptism, actualizing it. Please close your eyes. Just don't open your eyes. That's very important part of Sahaja Yoga, that you don't open your eyes. Because if you open your eyes, then the Kundalini doesn't rise about Agya Chakra, which is the 6th center. Put your right hand on your heart. Don't open your eyes, please, but put your right hand on your heart. And ask a question. For those who have not yet got their realization fully established, ask a question, Mother, am I the spirit? And the Sahaja Yogis have to say, Mother, I am the spirit. In your heart, you need not say loudly. Thrice. put your left hand on top of your head. Are you feeling little, not touching it? Keep it higher, higher, still higher on the place where we call it as a talu, where the fontanelle bone area, where it was soft when you were a child. Bring it nearer to the head and see if you are feeling the cool breeze coming up. May God bless you.
We might just continue to sit in meditation. Just listen to some music.
Okay, now Shri Mataji had given a wonderful guidance for all of us when watching that video. Once we are in Sahasrara, we become a global personality. We are different. We see the larger things. We understand how everything fits in together. So let us remain in meditation and open more strands of the Sahasrara. We can listen to this raga, and it will help clear us as well. Well, I hope the music was nice and that you enjoyed the session. Aryan and Rita, I pass to you. Please.
That was an absolutely beautiful session, absolutely amazing. For me, when you were leading the meditation, it's just a different perspective or different way of offering the prayer, which we know. But when you said, that you are the power of the evolution within me, and please help, please guide us so that we can then become better instruments of the divine. And I could just feel the Kundalini just dancing on the Sahasrara. And I must say, I actually turned around to make sure my air conditioner was off because it was just so strong up there. And I thought, oh, hang on, did I not switch off the air conditioner before I sat down? So it was just beautiful. Absolutely amazing meditation. So thank you very much. How about you, Aryan?
Yes, absolutely. And also that you, it was so much from the heart, such gentleness, and one could feel that we were drawn within when you were guiding the meditation, Randy.
Absolutely. And I suppose that also does bring me to request, Aryan, to you, because to share, if you don't mind, with us, because Aryan sent me this beautiful music and then a whole translation, which wonderful. So I will let you take over, and if you don't mind sharing with us the translation, and I'll play the video so everyone can enjoy.
So what happened is that I accidentally came across this video, which happened to be from Singapore, where Randy came from before he came to Australia, and it is a song sung by a lady from China who lives in Singapore, and it was so beautiful, even though I don't understand Chinese, but felt. So this is really what it's all about, the Sahasrara. We are all one. The humanity, Shri Mataji being the mother, she wants everyone to be one, the humanity as one, so that it doesn't matter what language we speak, what country we come from. We all speak the same language of the heart at the Sahasrara, and this is why it was so beautiful. And I sent a request for the translation. I had to ask a few people, and out of all of a sudden, somebody sent me the translation. Apparently, she sent it because I don't know her, but it just happened the Sahaj way that the translation of the song arrived just for the program tonight. So I just read to you what the song means. The title is Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. So you are eternal, you are compassion, sitting on a lotus beyond time, beyond illusions. The greatest pure goddess, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. O great mother incarnated on this earth to give realization to humanity. Subtle in appearance, you are the primordial power, undiscovered by the masses, divinely appearing in every corner to save your children. O creator of the universe, establisher of truth, please give me joy and happiness. Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. O dear mother came on this earth for us to get our realization. Ever changing in appearance, your glances are ever so pure, miraculously appearing in every corner to save your children. O creator of the universe, establisher of truth, please give me joy and happiness. Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Beautiful. I might just play the song actually, if that's okay.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Mataji Namo Namaha Namo Namaha Namo Namaha Namo Namaha.
That was beautiful. Absolutely wonderful, Ariane.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
So peaceful. And like I said, when we do listen to the music, we kind of have that attention on the Sahasrara, which I did forget to mention. And it just takes you difficult to think and talk, isn't it? After that beautiful meditation and the music and the song that we heard. So usually, yes, that's one of the things I suppose that we recommend, as you were saying, Randhir, when we had the raga on and you were meditating, just having that attention on the Sahasrara or just that few inches above the Sahasrara as you're listening, just you can just feel the the vibrations of the music and kind of at a different subtle level,
Yes.
the effects of the music, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Once in silence, the agya is less active. And if that's less active, usually you can feel the Sahasrara more strongly.
That's right. That's right. Now, I just had a question that popped into my head, so I'm going to ask you guys about with Shri Mataji talking a lot of the time when we do have that connection with the divine and the connection at the Sahasrara. We find and she gave that example of the gentleman who was going out to see to do a program and then requested, and the clouds stopped and the rain stopped. So have you guys had any experience like that you would like to share? Or any time you found, if you've had a problem, just having that attention on the Sahasrara and putting a bandhan, you kind of find a solution or things have worked out?
For me, I suppose it's not. It's a process. I haven't got a single incident which I can think of, like a standout incident, like, for example, what just happened there. But it's where when you're in Sahasrara, you also get protected. I remember I wanted to take a trip to India in about many years ago, in about 2000. So we're talking about 22 years ago.
Yeah.
To visit a certain part, and eventually I wasn't able to because I had some other commitments come in. Then I was thinking to myself, oh, terrible. I should have gone over there. And later on, it turned out there was an earthquake in the area in Gujarat in 2000.
Yeah, the big one, that's the
Yeah.
huge one that Shri Mataji talks about at one of the talks.
Yeah.
I think at sometimes, wow.
Late 2000 or early 2001, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
When you're there, in Sahasrara, the divine works through you. It also guides you and it protects you.
Absolutely.
So sometimes things actively happen, and other times you get protected from things happening to you.
Yes, absolutely, yes. And yes, and it just becomes, I suppose that for me, last week, I actually very mundane, I suppose, but I lost my keys. I could not find the keys at work. So everyone was freaking out and looking for them. I'm going, yeah, we'll find it when I need to find it or when I have to find it. And a couple of days later, we really needed the keys, to the storeroom at the back to put to the privacy bin and stuff. So I went, okay. So I stood there. So I'm at work. I put the attention on the Sahasrara, just putting a bandhan, mother remind, because they've looked wherever possible. And in my thought came, look in your shed. This is at home. And And I'm kind of going, why would it be in the shed? I haven't even been in the shed. I couldn't remember ever going in the shed, that my key will be in the shed. So I kind of went, nah, Rita, that's not possible, because you didn't even go in the key, got busy at work, didn't think about it, sent a message to my daughter going, do you remember where the keys would be? Because she'd come on, got this. And then she called me in the evening and said, did you look in the shed? When did I go in the shed? She goes, well, you were in the shed when I handed it to you. So I had like no memory of it. But when we put the bandhan and you kind of have the connection, it just, and that's where it was. It was in the shed. Like I had absolutely no recollection, the busyness of her going away or her handing it to me or being there. And on many occasions, yes, I, find just bringing yourself into that Sahasrara, putting a bandhan, it's basically like surrendering that to the divine. Yep, help me out or whatever, and the thought just pops in the head as to where it is. Yeah, my foolishness that I didn't follow through with it, but so yes, that was a very yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, what you were talking about is the bandhan, when we go around with our hand and we do a circle. And yes, I was on a Sahaja Yoga sort of a trip in New Caledonia, and I think they had lost something, and they say, oh, let's go and ask Aryan to do a bandhan, because if you do it when you're in a detached manner, which is part of when we at Sahasrara, and sure enough, they found it after, because if you do it in a detached manner, it will work out. And they had found whatever they had lost. That so that it does actually work.
Absolutely. So it's a little exercise for people to practice when
Yeah, so you're right. You write whatever you want in the hand, and then you do a bandhan around it.
That's right.
Circular.
And to do absolutely. So shall we just go? We'll have some music and sit down for meditation a little bit to settle our attention, shall we?
Yes.
And shall we also do the bandhan now?
Please.
Yeah,
Breathing of the
bandhan now.
Absolutely. So Jai Shri Mataji, thank you once again, Randeep. Thank you, Ariana, for a wonderful evening. And we will see you again.
Jagajanani, O Jagamata.
Jagajanani, O Jagamata.
Nirmala Rupadara.
Nirmala Rupadara.
Nirmala Rupadara.
Nirmala Rupadara.
Bhagavatsala Devi.
Bhagavatsala Devi.
Jai Shri Nirmala Sahasrara Swamini Ma. Om Jai Shri Mataji.
Om Jai Shri Mataji.
Sahasrara Swamini Ma. Jai Shri Nirmala Jvala Jagadamba.
Jvala Jagadamba.
Jai Shri Nirmala Sahasrara Swamini Ma. Jai Shri Nirmala Sahasrara Swamini Ma. Jai Shri Nirmala Sahasrara Swamini Ma. Jai Shri Nirmala Sahasrara Swamini Ma.
नमस्तेस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्र गदा हस्ते श्रीनिर्मला देवी नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गरुडारूढे कोल्हासुर भयङ्करी सर्वपापहरे देवी श्रीनिर्मला देवी नमोस्तुते
Ave Maria, gratia plena. Ave Maria, gratia plena. Ave Maria,
सर्वज्ञे सर्ववरदे सर्वदुष्टभयङ्करी सर्वदुःखहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते सिद्धिबुद्धिप्रदे देवी भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदायिनी मन्त्रमूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते
Ave Maria, gratia plena. Ave Maria, gratia plena.
आद्यन्तरहिते देवी आदिशक्ति माहेश्वरी योगजे योगसम्भूते श्री निर्मला देवी नमोऽस्तु ते स्थूलसूक्ष्म महारौद्रे महाशक्ति महोदरे महापापहरे देवी श्री निर्मला देवी नमोऽस्तु ते
Ave Maria, gratia plena. Ave Maria, gratia plena.
पद्मसंसीते देवी परब्रह्मा स्वरूपिणी परमेशी जगन्माता महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते श्वेताम्बरधरे देवी नानालङ्कारभूषिते जगस्थिते जगन्माता महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते नमस्तेस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्र गदाहस्ते श्री निर्मला देवी नमोऽस्तु ते नमोऽस्तु ते ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री जगन्माता महालक्ष्मी साक्षात् श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः नमो नमः ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री निर्मला देवी नमः नमो